Everybody, welcome to Managerial Accounting Process Costing. This is our final video for weighted average, or how do we go through and transfer costs from WIP to finished goods inventory. Sample question, please refer to the prior videos. And in this one right over here, we're using weighted average process costing to go through and determine the total cost transfer to finished goods, our ending work in process direct materials, our ending work in process conversion. So let's see where we are right now. So as I come over here, so far on this particular question, we went through and we determined what our equivalent units were. Remember, with equivalent units under weighted average, for the ending, I had to multiply this because the 40,000 units here is not the same as the 300,000, as the 400,000 ending inventory units were only 25% complete. But in weighted average, I'm making an assumption on the beginning inventory in terms of that it was 100% completed during the period. So that's why I disregard the beginning inventory percentages when it comes to weighted average, and I assume it's 100% complete. Because I'm assuming 100% completion, when I came up with my cost per equivalent unit under direct materials and conversion, I'm including those costs over here. I'm including both my beginning inventory conversion and then my conversion during the period. So right over here, I've come up with my cost per equivalent unit direct materials and my cost per equivalent unit for conversion. Now, when it comes over here, I'm ready to go through now and to figure out how do I go through and move the cost of finished goods. Now, if I have 330,000 equivalent units for direct materials and my ending is 10,000, how much did I send over? Well, I sent over 20,000 from the beginning plus 300,000 started and completed. So this is going to be 320,000 units to finished goods inventory for direct materials. Let me just go ahead and move this down here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 320,000 equivalent units for direct materials. I'm going to multiply that by my cost per equivalent unit for direct materials, or $2 cost per equivalent unit for direct materials. So right over here, when I take this, so this is going to be 320,000 times 2, or 640,000. So I show this leaving work in process. I decrease my inventory with a credit, right? And then this is going to come over here to finished goods inventory. Okay. Now, let's just take a look over here. I'm left over here with $20,000 in my work in process direct materials. Do we know if this is correct? Well, the way we're going to figure this out is how many units do I have, or how many equivalent units do I have in my ending inventory? My ending inventory equivalent units for direct materials is 10,000. If I multiply that by $2, which is my cost per equivalent unit, this is going to give me $20,000. So not only am I able to go through over here and figure out basically what this is, but I can also go through and check my work. So let's do this the other way this time over here with respect to conversion. For conversion, I had 8,000 equivalent units in my ending inventory. If I come over here and I say, well, my ending inventory equivalent units for conversion was 8,000 units, right? If I multiply this by my cost per equivalent unit for conversion of $1.80, what am I going to get? Well, my ending inventory has to be 8,000 times $1.80, or 14,400. Now, if I'm going through and solving for here, 590 minus what gives me 14,400, and this is going to be $576,000. Now, if I'm going over here and I'm now saying to myself, well, Bennett, is this number correct? Well, let's figure it out. If I had over here So if I had 8,000 left, how many units did I transfer over to finished goods? It was my beginning plus a 300,000 that I started and completed. So over here, 20,000 units beginning inventory equivalent units for conversion plus 300,000 started and completed for conversion is going to give me 320,000 equivalent units of conversion to finished goods inventory. Okay, I just forgot a zero here. Got to get out with a zero in with a hero. Okay, so this is going to be 320,000 equivalent units for conversion times $1.80 cost per equivalent unit for conversion. This is going to give me a total of 320,000 times $1.80 or 576,000. So by going through, I can do this either way, and this is going to be the best way we have to go through and to check our work. It has to work both ways. Whatever you're sending out to finished goods inventory has to be the beginning plus what you started and completed. Whatever's in the ending has to equal to the number of equivalent units in ending inventory times your cost per equivalent unit. So the last part in terms of what we're being asked to do is my ending work in process for direct materials, 20,000. My ending work in process for conversion is 14,400. And then lastly over here, what is my ending finished goods inventory? Well, my ending finished goods inventory is going to be 1,216,000. Okay. Now, the last thing we can do is we can do something called total cost to be accounted for. What exactly is that? When you take beginning direct materials during the month, beginning costs plus conversion during the month, you're going to get over here. So I had total costs that I had to account for during the month of 1,250,400. My ending inventory for direct materials, my ending inventory for conversion, and then my finished goods inventory. This 1,250,400 should equal 20 plus 14,400 plus 1,216,000. So when I add these up, this is equaling up to the same exact amount. You don't have to do this. This can actually just be a good way to go through and check your work. So again, the biggest thing over here with weighted average is how we're going through and treating the beginning inventory units. Because I'm including the costs in the beginning inventory units, I'm going to make the assumption that they were 100% complete during the period. Again, it's assumption. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any questions you might have below, and appreciate you liking and subscribing to these videos. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a great day.